Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. I am Tim, and I warn you, I've got a bad case of the hiccups, but the man who doesn't have a bad case of the hiccups and might be taking over for the first few minutes is going to be Malk. How are you doing today, Malk?
You're right, Tim. I'm doing very well. I hope you're okay and well. Hopefully there'll be no more hiccups during the during the stream. But I hope you're okay and well, though, mate.
I actually had the mic muted before I chimed in here, trying to find a breath just so I could speak. So if you just hear any weird screeching, well, you'll know what happened.
Oh, I'll let you off just this once, mate. I'll let you off just this once. But like I said, I believe we're at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for round 2 of the Realistic Performance League this evening. Last week we had a cracker, didn't we? We had an absolute cracker. We had the one shot because obviously it was the very first race last week, and then we had the sprint and then the feature. This time it will be the reverse grid. Well, the reverse results from the race will be the starting point of the sprint itself. So we are looking forward to it. Hello to Scotty, how you doing? It says Cameron Hype Train arrived. Hello IRL, how you doing? Hope you came well. And Sky says PC represent. No worries, no worries. Let's see if he can, if Cameron can get into the podium again like last week. To be fair, but Tim, I bet you, with Azerbaijan, I know, just before we started the stream, I know you haven't driven around, same here, I haven't driven around much of the tracks lately, but from your experience around Azerbaijan, what's your thoughts of it?
It's actually one of the few tracks that I found enjoyable to drive around in. It seemed that I was able to find a nice line and be comfortable around the track, with the exception of the castle section. Obviously, that is the most trickiest and infamous part of this racetrack, and it's going to catch a lot of drivers out. But beyond that, I just found this track to be very welcoming to my driving style, which I know you told me is actually the exact opposite of what you found.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what it is. The castle section always gets me. I don't know why, but it just always gets me. And I don't know what it is. I think it's just, yes, there's quite a lot of long straights, which is good. No problem there. But there was just, I don't know what it is. It's just something doesn't feel classic enough with the Azerbaijan. But I hope tonight with the drivers in their respective cars, which we'll announce in a minute, of what car. Well, you'll see it on screen anyway, guys, for the ones that are watching already. But for the ones that are finding out, it's going to be insane stuff, to be fair. But I cannot wait for it. I really, really cannot wait for it at all. So what's your thoughts? I mean, we're just waiting for some updates. I believe. I think there's some technical faults. We do apologise, guys. We are about to start the race in a few moments' time. But like I said, we are just waiting for, I believe, one more person to join us. I think someone's just got kicked. I think that might be Spud. So he's just trying to get himself back in as quickly as possible. But, I mean, last week was an absolute brilliant race overall, especially with the sprint and the feature. I mean, Rudo looks like a really good contender for... I know it's early doors for the Drivers' Championship. I'm not saying it right here, right now, but that's a good way to start in the Performance League, surely.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, like you said, last week it was a very intense race, and we saw Rudo, as you said, take the win. So going to the point standings, though, it's Rudo with 33 points, Cameron Searle in second with 28, then 27 points going to Daryl Whiffen. That's your top three, with Nitro Gash and Speed Queen your top five. So obviously it's a little bit early to start finding picks and favorites for the championship, but all the same, Rudo starting the season out strong with just a little bit of an advantage over the competition, with what appears to be, counting today, 14 rounds remaining.
Absolutely, and we are, like I said, anything could happen. Anything could happen in the points, and anything could happen in the racing itself. But the word I keep saying every single season has always been the one: consistency. Consistency is the way forward. If you can get into the top 5 in each of the races, you'll be in for a really, really good shout. Especially if you're in the slowest car as well and you're in the top 5, that is still impressive. And I've seen it many times, and we've seen it many, many times, haven't we, Tim, with Mr. Sky Z. 4 championships, if I remember right, 4 championships in a row, and the very first one that he won, he did not win a single race at all season long. I think he was second, and like definitely in the top 4, top 5 each time. But really impressive stuff. And obviously the shocks of it all was the 2 drivers who were contention for the Drivers' Championship. That was Ginger Tiger, who got it just by count back of wins. He struggles with the no assist. This is his first time. Last week was his first time with the no assist. I'm hoping he'll improve a hell of a lot till for the next race itself. So we're just waiting to find out what's going on. We do apologise, guys, for.
Yeah, and actually going back on Ginger Tiger, our defending champion, like you said, Malk, this is his first season driving without assists, so we might not see the strong performance this season that we saw from him last season, and he finds himself 16th place right now in the point standings, which is really just that's just a placeholder because he has 0 points. So scoring 1 point today, assuming the 2 drivers, Trim and Sab, do not, Ginger Tiger could find himself in 14th, but obviously he's going to be looking for a lot more. Now, while we're talking about the points, it's a little bit different here in the Performance League, how we award them. Obviously, these drivers are going to get points for the sprint race, but in the feature race as well, we will award points to whoever finishes. It's not just the top 10 like you get in the traditional Formula 1 points format. If you finish 15th, you will score points as long as you finish the race. If you don't finish the race, then you will not score those points.
Absolutely, and this is why every point matters, especially in the feature race. Even if you feel like you're not going to get anywhere with points, those points at the end could be crucial when it comes to near the end of the season. So these guys have got a good chance. Obviously, with the feature race, you have to be in the top 8 of the race. So just wait and see how everything plans out. But I think we are all in. Yes, we are all in. And we are about to start. So hopefully Tim will have no more hiccups. And we will start properly for the Azerbaijan sprint race for 9 laps, Tim.
Well, I actually have not had an issue with the hiccups since I mentioned them. So I don't know. I guess Azerbaijan just scared me. It scared the hiccups right out of me.
Or hopefully not at all. Hello to Keza. How you doing, mate? I hope you're going well this evening, guys. Hope all is well. We're both very well. We are both very well. We're excited for hopefully a lot, and I say again, hopefully a lot. Yeah, I said top 8 points in sprint race, not feature. Sorry, if I said feature, I do apologise. I didn't mean that. I was trying to see who was on the ball in the chat. But thanks to Stevens, good to see you back in the chat. Probably Owen, good evening to you, mate. Good luck to Cameron. So we've got a few drivers who are from the PC side, or PC fans of Cameron, who hopefully will get a good start to get another podium. I mean, he was really impressive, especially when he was in that Williams car last week, Tim.
Yeah, and let's just underline that for a second here. Realistic performance, so it's exactly as it sounds. These cars mimic their real-life counterparts' performance. So Cameron Searle doing very well in the Williams. That is a very impressive feat because the Williams obviously is not one of the faster cars. Now, we do allocate the faster drivers to the slower cars and the slower drivers to the faster cars to give us an even playing field, but even still, it's a Williams, and he was able to have a good run. It just goes to show it doesn't matter what car you are allocated in. You just got to go out there, do your best, and hit your marks and be there at the end.
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to it, to be fair. With 9 laps, obviously, there'll be hopefully a lot of overtakes, and hopefully there'll be a lot of battles going through, but hopefully there'll be no stupid crashes, shall we say, at the castle section or anything that's, with the barriers itself, they have to be careful on as well. So if you like what you see so far, guys, please like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel. For all the live race itself, we're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help to myself, Malk, and Tim in the commentators box, as well as the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much, guys. Just reading some of the comments. I do apologise. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying that you're supporting Cameron. That's all I was going to say. Go over to Matty Rudd. How you doing? He says, Ruddo for the world. So, I mean, with Ruddo, who had the good start last week, and then Cameron in the from the PC side with the Williams. So, should be quite interested to see if they can keep that form going tonight, Tim.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and looks like we're going to find out just what's going to happen here in a few seconds. Remember, it's the sprint race first, a 9-lap sprint race, and then a 26-lap feature race to decide it all here in Azerbaijan.
Absolutely. Oh, no worries, Owen. Sorry about that. I thought you was trying to wind us up. So, no problems at all. We have the banters galore, and we're about to start for the sprint. I believe the formation lap is still on. So we will wait and see who will try and win the sprint itself. And like I said, we've got 19 drivers, and we are about to get that pedal to the metal feeling itself. And I get that feeling of like, hopefully we'll see some great moves, but hopefully not stupid overtake moves that you don't want to risk it for a biscuit, Tim.
Yeah, and taking a look at the tire tree here, every single driver going on the medium tire, except for, can you guess, Speed Queen 80 going on the soft compound tire. So we saw that last week. It really didn't work out for her as well as maybe she had anticipated. Could it be a different story here around Azerbaijan? And I'm actually going to ask you this, Mal, just in general, how is the soft tire around this track in race trim?
Normally with the race trim, it normally be roughly about 10 to 12 laps, roughly. But that's just only if it's just obviously not with too much battles galore. So with Speed Queen, I know we've known her for many years, many seasons in the Invictus Racing League, not just in the Performance League, but also in the top flight of division of the Premier League itself. But she can manage the tyre wear a lot more better than some of the drivers who are on the medium tyres. So I think what she's trying to do, unless I'm mistaken, unless hopefully she'll correct me next time, but I think she's trying to save the other tyres for the race, for the feature race, and then use that advantage where some of the drivers are already using those medium tyres as well. So I know there's other options for the tyre wear spares anyway, but if it hits on those worn out tyres, she's got a good advantage. But bear in mind that you've got drivers who are really going for it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they be some shocks along the way. Trems has just had an invalidation. Spud is just having some difficulties with his car, so hopefully he'll get himself back in. Marlon says, Luke, just don't text, just drive. And Steve says he'll bid it anyway, lol. And Steve says, Joe said to barge everyone out of the way and in the wall. That's unbelievable from Stephen. So here we go, guys. I'll pass it over to Tim, who will start off with the sprint race. Over to you.
9-lap sprint, going to decide our starting lineup for our feature race. And remember, the top 8 will score points here. Just waiting for all the drivers to find their appropriate positions on the grid. And, well, quite a few of them actually having a bit of an issue with that, as you can see. The DSQ is just for the formation lap, though, so that does not apply for the sprint or feature race. Just waiting on those lights. And here we go. ARL will lead them off with Michael Luke and Sir Spud, your top three. Let's see who's going to get the jump on who. ARL in the Aston Martin, Michael Luke in the Alpha Tauri. Could it be 3 wide going into turn number 1? No, it's not, but a little bump from the Haas of MDJ sends Michael Luke flying. Did he get into the wall? Already we got a yellow flag as their car is spinning back there, Mal.
Yeah, Nigel Caster's going all the way down. It looks like a few drivers have dropped themselves down a few positions. Speed Queen. Rudder's also dropped down to 11th place. Bruce Lee drops down to 4th. I think Sir Spud and ARL dropped themselves a few domino effects. Going down in positions, Tim.
Watching Daryl Whiffen, who just got by ARL for the 5th position. I'm thinking there might be some damage on that Aston Martin of ARL. I'm not seeing any visible wing damage, but I think I saw him have some contact with the wall, so maybe there's some minor damage we're not seeing, but he is definitely struggling from the early going here in this sprint race. Taking a look at Kuh now in the 7th position, and we ride on board with him. You see Daryl Whiffen up ahead. He just overtook ARL, so he is in the 6th position now. Speed Queen 80, the 2 Aston Martins now running nose to tail. So there's ARL, Speed Queen 80 going through the castle section. So let's see if Speed Queen 80 can make quick work.
Sorry, Tim. I think we've had some damage on one of the cars. I think that might be Sir Spud's car. But Trams has got himself into 16th. Sir Spud dropped himself all the way down to 17th. I think he is still not back in his car yet. But we've had a bit of wing damage. I don't know whether that was from Sir Spud or someone. Oh no! Someone's crashed! There's a Williams car that just went crashed into the wall. I think that's Cameron. Cameron's lost his front wing. Cameron has lost his front wing. The driver who got 2nd place last week in the feature race. He has got damaged wing, Tim.
It's unfortunate for Cameron, and it's not really going to have a lot of time for him to rebound here in this sprint race, so the best thing he can do, go into the pits, get a new set of tires, and just hope for the best, but he's going to be playing catch-up when it comes to the feature, as Michael Luke, the leader at the moment, has set the quickest lap. Now, Michael, as we see MDJ trying to overtake him on the inside, it's a side-by-side battle. MDJ takes the lead, but Michael Luke, with the momentum on the outside, is able to barely get ahead of that Haas machine. It's a side-by-side battle still between these two cars. Who is going to win out into the corner? MDJ with a late break, and Michael very close to the outside wall, but hangs on to it. They keep it clean. We stay green. MDJ in the 1st position.
MDJ, he's definitely in the house for that move. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. Ruddo, I think Ruddo and Speed Queen dropped himself down. Keza moves up to 9th place. Ruddo and Ryan are having a bit of a battle between 11th and 12th respectively, but I'll tell you what a move there from MDJ, Tim.
Yeah, and MDJ, literally from the start of this race, has had pace, he's had speed. He actually helped Michael get the lead. Going to turn 1, had a little bit of a bump into the back of his car, sent Michael flying ahead of ARL. Michael was able to recover, MDJ was able to recover, and then you saw the next lap, MDJ taking the lead away from Michael, and already he is 0.8 of a second ahead of the AlphaTauri. Oh, and look at that, as Ryan, the other Haas car, might have just had a little brush with the wall as we're taking a look at Rudo, but here is Ryan. No damage on the front wing that we can see, but had a little bit of a slide at least. There were some sparks I saw.
Well, while you're watching that, I'm watching Speed Queen having a bit of a battle with Keza. And it looked like Bruce Lee goes off into 3rd. Russman drops down to 4th. But actually, Russman moves back up to 3rd. And they're going past the corner. Here we go. Can Speed Queen make the move? Can she make the move? No, she's waiting for that DRS. She's waiting for that DRS action, but also she's got to be careful because Ruddo is just behind, and here we go. Could we have a 2 in the bed moment now? Come on! Come on! We want the 2 in the bed moment now! But they're trying to push that barrier. It looks like Kurz moves up to 5th. Darrell drops down to 6th. We've got yellow flags ahead. We've got yellow flags ahead. I think Kurz dropped... Oh, no, Kurz! No! ARL's crashed. ARL has crashed. And we've got a virtual safety car, Tim.
Virtual safety car on lap 3 of 9. Former champion of this series, ARL, crashing out. So we'll go take a look at him. And well, not crashing out. I'm going to correct that. He just simply crashed, but is still rolling on the track and go to the pits. But trying to see what damage there is. And, well, yeah, there's no front wing on that car.
I think he made him... I don't know whether he got caught by one of the drivers. I didn't catch it or anything, but... He was ahead at turn 3 as well, so something must have happened. So it was just when I was watching the battle, and we're back live racing now, Tim. We're back live racing now.
Go back and take a look at the top 3 positions. There is Russman trying to hang on to third with Bruce Lee Harding right behind him. There you see Michael Luke on your screen in the second position because MDJ, he is far and away ahead, 1.5 seconds ahead of the AlphaTauri. Bruce Lee Harding, though, he's going to get the DRS on Russman here. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. Will he be able to make the move? Does not look like he's going to be close enough, but he does gain a significant advantage down the straightaway. There you see it. Has a look, but has to back out of it going into turn 1. So Bruce Lee Harding going to have to wait for the next DRS zone, which is conveniently just around this next corner. Could this be his opportunity as Russman a little bit of a struggle off that corner? Bruce Lee Harding definitely quicker off this corner, but will he be able to make the move? It's going to be side by side, Ferrari versus Alpine, and I think Bruce Lee Harding's going to get the move. No, he does not. Russman, a late break into the corner, sees him hold on to third.
Yeah, while you're watching that, Tim, there was a bit of a, could have been a catastrophic moment for Trems. Martin was trying to turn the corner. I think he got caught by, didn't want to caught into the back of Tadelli, but luckily Trems did not caught the back of Martin because that could have been, as I said, the catastrophic moments. But luckily they're still racing from 11, 12 and 13 respectively. But yeah, unbelievable racing so far, and we're nearly, or just about, at the halfway mark, Tim.
Lap 4 of 9, and you know, I'm not going to do the crazy math that it requires to figure out exactly to the decimal what half of 9 is, so we're just going to go ahead and say we're at halfway now.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I absolutely agree with you on that one, to be fair. So here we go. We've got a 3-car battle going on between Keza, Speed Queen and Rudder for 7th, 8th and 9th respectively. Watching it from Speed Queen's point of view. This is where Speed Queen needs to use that soft tyres to take the advantage. She did lose out a few positions earlier on when the start of the race. Here we go. Ruddo, I'm just going to watch it from Ruddo's point of view. Going down the straight. The DRS will be active in about now. Ruddo, look at that. Look at that straight line speed. Trying to get close to Speed Queen. Ruddo's got the fastest of the race. 144.026. Oh, Speed Queen's got a little bit wide, and now it's put Rudder into the inside line! Oh, brilliant move, but can Speed Queen bounce back? No, she won't. She will have the DRS, though. She will have the DRS. Rudder will not, so will Speed Queen bounce back? Will Speed Queen bounce back from 8? Oh, no, Cameron has got yourself the fastest lap of the race, 142.829.
Great battling from Rudo and Speed Queen 80. Of course, Rudo, last week's winner, and Speed Queen 80 still trying to get a win. She's been trying for quite a while, but just has not yet been able to stand on the top spot of that podium. Taking a look now at the 5th position driver of Daryl Whiffen in the Mercedes. So far having a good run, and if they finish as they run now, Daryl Whiffen should be starting in the 5th position. I was about to say he's about to finish in the 5th position, but this is just the sprint race. Of course, we've got a 26-lap feature race coming up next. MDJ, of course, still in command of the sprint, though, 2.1 seconds ahead of Michael Luke, and then Russman, 2.8 seconds behind him.
We just had a bit of a crash. I think that was from IRL. IRL's had a bit of a crash at turn 3 again. The same corner that he lost his front wing completely. So hopefully he'll get himself back up to normality. Hello to Smoke. He says 4.5, mate. 4.5. That was the halfway point. Scotty says, I also got to support Joe, my AMR boy. So, yeah, I mean, Joe Armstrong's doing really well, actually, in 6th place, so hopefully he'll capitalise on it in that McLaren car. And he's only just ahead while I'm watching it from Ruddo's point of view, because Keza... Oh! Just as I said, Joe Amster, he caught the wall. He caught the wall, and I'm wondering if he's had front wing damage. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like he's got front wing damage, but... that is catastrophic moments, just as I said about him. Oh, another car just went spun. That's just...
And a big wiggle from Rudo as he overtakes Keza.
Oh, what happened there, Tim?
Rudo, he just literally, it's like he shot out of a cannon, went to the inside of Keza. He was able to get the move done, but then on exit of the corner had a big moment to where it was a huge wiggle, and he was dancing with that car.
Oh, Ryan and Speed Queen are caught on just before the castle section. Well, the corner before the castle section. Ryan was trying to make the move on the inside, but caught the back end of Speed Queen, but they're still racing. No issues there. They're still racing at the minute, Tim.
Yeah, and here's Speed Queen 80 trying to hold off Ryan. And wow, Ryan gets a big run into the corner, but can go nowhere as Speed Queen 80 had the preferred line. Ryan, of course, going to be waiting for that DRS, but will he be able to take advantage? Now, here's something we got to note, though, Matt. 5 laps on Speed Queen 80's tires, 5 laps on everyone's tires, but Speed Queen 80, she is on the soft compound tires. And if memory serves me correctly, those soft compounds, they don't last very long around Azerbaijan, so she could theoretically be suffering from some tire wear sooner rather than later, as Ryan is actually trying to make the move. Does he get the job done around the outside? Yes, he does.
He makes the move perfectly, but can Speed Queen bounce back? Can she bounce back? We'll have to watch that, as well as Bruce Lee getting close to Russman. We'll watch that in a minute, but look at Speed Queen. Speed Queen will have that DRS. Ryan has had a bit of an extra boost. The Busher MDJ is driving away, Marlon says he is. He's having a fantastic race at the minute, but Speed Queen cannot catch up yet. Cannot catch up to Ryan. I did say about 10 to 12 laps, the softs. Yellow flag set to 3. Yellow flag set to 3. I'm not sure. I think that's Trems.
He is retired in the pits.
So Trems says retired in the pits. So he's having a torrid day, so he'll be starting at the back of the grid in the feature race. So here we go. Can we see some more action galore? But still watching from Speed Queen to Ryan's point of view through the castle section. Ryan's had a terrible go through the castle part. And now, can Speed Queen bounce back? We have to find out sooner or later, Tim.
This is where we saw Ryan gain some speed last lap. And you see him once again gaining a lot of speed there. And especially through that corner. That really seems like a strong point for him. It's just that particular corner. He seems to be able to carry so much speed through there compared to everyone else. So I keep an eye on him in this third sector. It kind of makes me wish that we had the traditional 18-minute qualifying session just so I could watch him over the course of a few laps.
Absolutely. And while you're watching that, Bruce, and Ross to the bad moment now. Going into turn 1. Go on. Oh my God, they're going to stop beside it. Oh. And looks like Bruce is trying to do the old switcheroo. And he will have the DRS. And blitz past Russman for third place at the minute. What a battle so far between these two drivers so far. Unbelievable stuff, Tim.
And you called it, Mount. Bruce Lee Harding doing that crossover on Russman, and that was perfectly executed. It could not have been done any better.
Absolutely. Fantastic stuff. Smoke says the softs have gone their best they're getting out of them is 7, maybe 8 laps. The reason why I said 10, 12 is because Speed Queen can get that extra couple of laps. So normally it's probably, I would say, under 10 laps anyway for the softs. But personally, I would have said 10 to 12 because it depending on how good the tyre management is for that driver itself. But cheers for that, Smoke. No, softs don't work. Oh, okay. Fair enough. We've just got this battle going on at the minute between Bruce, Russ and Darrell. See what they can try and do down the straight. We're on the penultimate lap, Tim.
On board with Darrell Whiffen. Very quick here. And, you know, this is a section to where you're going to be full throttle the entire way. But you've got to be careful still, because if your car gets a little bit upset, if you don't hit your marks just right, get that grip where you need it, you can go spinning, and we've seen it happen quite a few times. And there you saw Darrell Whiffen actually getting a big advantage on Russman, but not close enough to make that move. Let's see if the story is going to change when they get out of turn 2. This is the last lap of the sprint race. MDJ leads, Michael Luke in second. Third place is Bruce Lee Harding. You're watching the battle for fourth right now between Russman and Darrell Whiffen. And once again, Daryl gaining a lot with the DRS, but not able to make the move.
Absolutely, we've got a good battle for the two McLarens having a good scrap heap challenge. Going topside, and also Tedeli and Speed Queen having a good battle as well for 9th and 10th, and Tedeli goes back up to 9th. But here we go. We got, like I said, we've got a couple of battles going, and they're doing fantastic stuff on the final lap of this race.
And Russman, he's actually closing in on Bruce Lee Harding. Potentially, Russman could be looking at a third-place starting spot for the feature, but he is going to have to go now. This is the last lap, 1.1 seconds. He's going to have to find about 0.4 of a second if he's going to guarantee himself that DRS down the home stretch. Let's see what he's able to do. Bruce Lee Harding in third. We've seen how quick he is, but Russman, he is a man on a mission, 1.1 seconds behind now, 0.9 of a second behind, but can he maintain this gap? He is flirting with losing that DRS, but I think he might just be able to have a run at Bruce Lee Harding, but having a run at him and actually being able to get by him before the line is going to be two different things. MDJ is about to cross the line now. He will win the sprint race, start first in the feature. Michael Luke in second, but Russman, let's see what he's able to do with Bruce Lee Harding, but he dropped back way too far. So unfortunately for Russman, it's going to be a 4th place starting spot for him. Bruce Lee Harding maintains third.
Oh, we got a good battle here. Esteban Martin and Speed Queen goes upside, and they're going down the straight now, and it could be a good finish for 10th. And looks like Speed Queen has hold on. Oh, the McLaren! Joe Amsterdam nowhere, considering he had a bit of a crash earlier on well, I say earlier on, a few laps ago. Still hold on for 12, but top 8 will guarantee points in the sprint, Tim.
So that is MDJ, Michael Luke, Bruce Lee Harding, Russman, Daryl Whiffen, Rudo, Keza, and Ryan. So it looks like all the drivers except for ARL has finished the race. And, you know, you really got to feel for ARL. It was just a tough start. He started first in the race. Of course, that means he didn't have the best of races last week, but all the same, ARL starting first in this race, but quickly dropping back, and it was just disaster from there on, and he is going to be starting from dead last in the field in the feature race, so he's going to be playing catch-up the entire time.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a tough call for the driver who's won previously in the past. So we'll get your comments in a moment, guys, but Tim, I'll let you do the honours for the classification for sprint.
And the results for the sprint race: MDJ in first, Michael Luke in second, Bruce Lee Harding in third, fourth is Russman, Daryl Whiffen in fifth, Rudo in sixth, Keza in seventh, Ryan in eighth, ninth is Tedeli, Speed Queen 80 in 10th, 11th is Martin, Joe Hamster in 12th, Ginger Tiger in 13th, 14th is Cameron Searle Ka in 15th, 16th is Nitro Gash and Sir Spud in the 17th position with ARL in 18th, 19th is Trims.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable from all drivers' perspective. But Smoke says, Russman didn't learn from me, just towed Bruce around the lap, wasting the ERS for Bruce just to sail past when he had nothing left. Absolutely, Spud. Absolutely. Sorry, Smoke, sorry, not Spud. Spud just came up. I meant to say Smoke. I completely agree with you. Sorry, I'm all over the place tonight, so I do apologise for that, guys. If you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you like subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for the live race itself. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help to myself, Malk, and Tim in the commentators box, as well as the Invictus Racing League on that YouTube channel as well. Hit that like button, guys, please, on this stream. Thank you so much. Tim, I'm going to beat you to it. Top 3 tonight in the feature.
Okay, well, the top 3, I'm going to have to go definitely with MDJ. We've seen how quick he is. I'm having a good feeling about Bruce Lee Harding as well. There in the Ferrari. And
okay.
You know what? Let's give him a confidence booster since Smoke is probably chewing him out right now. Russman.
Oh, okay. I reckon MDJ, Bruce, and I'm going to say Rudo. I don't know what. It'd be between Ruddo and Cameron. I know Cameron's way back at the minute, but if he can get a good start, but I'm going to go for Ruddo. I'm going to go for Ruddo, actually. I'm going to go for Ruddo. Going to go for Ruddo. So MDJ, Bruce, and Ruddo for top 3 tonight. And it's going to be a classic, I reckon.
Just waiting for the drivers to, well, start their formation lap, and there we go. There's the timer.
Yeah, so they're not wasting any more time now. The admins say, that was perfect timing, pardon me. The perfect moment now to start off at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We're going to have the formation lap, and then we're going to have the proper feature race, 50% race for you guys, live and exclusive for you guys on the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel as well. So we're just for 26 laps, guys. This is 26 laps. So we've had a bit of a taster, shall we say, from the sprint part, and see some of the drivers who are really up for it. I know we said our top 3, Tim. I'm going to say this a little bit different. Who do you think is be your dark horse that will do well this evening?
Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say Ryan in 8th place. He's a new driver, but we saw him have a few battles there in the sprint race, so let's just see what he's able to do in that Haas. Now, it is the Haas car. It's not going to be the quickest car out there, but starting from the 8th position, he's got 26 laps to find his way to the front.
Absolutely, and like I said, right, as you rightly said, Ryan, this is his first debut, shall we say, for Invictus Racing League on the Realistic Performance League. Could he be the first Xbox driver? So he's the only Xbox driver, compared with 2 drivers who are on the PC side, are Cameron and Kerr, who are in 14 and 15 respectively at the moment, while the rest are all from the PlayStation side. Can Ryan be the first Xbox driver this season to get into the podium? That'll be a monumentous achievement. We had our very first ever PC driver hit the podium last week. Could we see the Xbox hit the podium? That'll be a good opportunity of a lifetime as we speak. So just waiting to see. Marlon's saying Speed Queen is going long. So she's going to start off. Yeah, so Speed Queen, Cameron, Nigel Spud, and IRL, they're all going for the hard tyres, Tim, while Kurt and Trems are the only ones who are gambling on the softs to start with. Do you think that's wise from those 2 drivers?
I don't think it's wise to start on the soft tires. We really did not see Speed Queen 80 go anywhere in the sprint race, and quite frankly, they just wear out way too quick. So I like the reverse strategy, though, the hard to mediums that it seems Speed Queen 80, Cameron, and a few of those other drivers are going with. Now, the problem is they're starting far back. Speed Queen 80 is the highest driver to be starting on the hard tires, and she is in the 10th position. So no matter how you look at it, that is a tall ladder to climb to get up there to the first position. All the same, I really like that reverse strategy.
Absolutely, and here we go, guys. We're about to start. Everyone is eager. So we're just waiting for everyone to kick themselves to get that momentum in the track. We've got a few drivers who have disqualified already into the pit starts, or shall we say, on the grid itself. So here we go, guys. I'll pass you over to Tim for the feature race moments now.
And just waiting for the drivers to find their appropriate positions on the grid. They are ready to go. And you hear those engines revving. You hear those itchy pedal feet. The drivers watching the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air, and no red lights. We are green for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Azerbaijan Grand Prix, already jostling around for position in the back. But up front, it is MDJ around the outside of Michael Luke, hanging on to first place, as was that a Ferrari of Bruce Lee Hardy touching the wall out of turn number 1, while we have Ryan already up into the 4th position. So P4 for Ryan in just 2 corners, right on the back of Russ Ben now.
So Kerr has made the move into 11. Martin's dropped, moved up to 12. Speaker drops down to 14th now. Cameron moves up to 13th. We've got a good battle going down the long straight. And, ooh, can we make the moves? No, we can't. He can't make the moves just yet. But Let's see how everything plans out at the moment, but there's still good battles along the way. So let's go back. Well, Ryan's had a good start, actually, to move up to 4th place, Tim.
Yeah, not even sure how that happened, but Ryan has been doing a fantastic job here. And now Michael Luke in 3rd. He's doing a good job hanging on to it, but let's see if Ryan's going to be able to get by him sooner or later. Of course, that's assuming that Ryan's quicker than him.
Sorry, Tim. Keza. Oh, no, there's a spin! There was a spin at the castle section. I think that's Martin. Yeah, it's SFR Martin had a bit of a scary moment through the castle section. He really hit the wall, but I don't think he's had any damage limitations, but they're going side-by-side. Well, Keza was trying to go side-by-side, but hopefully no more issues.
Oh, there was some issues, though. Keza going on the inside of Martin, and definitely both of them making contact with the wall there.
Absolutely. Look, IRL has hit the wall, so he's dropped himself all the way down to 19th place. Keza drops down to 13, and you've got to be careful not to cause any havoc. Speaker is just behind now, and this is where everything is all going to be. We've got a two-car battle between Martin and Cameron. Martin and Cameron going side by side. It looks like Speaker is going to go side by side with Keza. To the bed moment. Keza holding on the inside line. Speaker going to have to go round the outside, but can't make the move just yet. But Keza just got himself just that nick of time moment ahead of Speaker team.
Already getting dicey in the back, and it's only lap 2 as we rejoin the battle between Ryan and Michael, and Ryan has gotten by Michael now. So what I was saying earlier is it seems like Ryan might have some speed, considering that he gained 4 places in just the first lap, but getting by Michael Luke, it might not be as easy because he is, of course, a seasoned veteran of this series, but it looks like Ryan made quick work of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But here we go. Looks like Daryl's going to try and get close to Bruce. Hopefully we'll have a good moment to see what's going to happen so far. But still watched in the back of the grid. Nigel who's having a torrid time at the minute in that Ferrari car. He's just struggling at the minute. I think since that sprint race, when he lost quite a few positions, it needs to push on that hard tyres to stand any chance of getting himself into decent points. But remember, as Tim said, as long as they finish, as long as they don't DNF or DSQ in this feature race, they will guarantee points, Tim.
And that is a bit of a weight off of the driver's shoulders. All the same, it's very frustrating when you're scoring those points in 12th place instead of 1st place.
Absolutely. Oh my God! Ruddo Dowell going side by side moment at turn 1. Dowell trying to keep on round the outside. Ruddo trying to keep on the inside line. And Ruddo trying still caught on the inside line, just enough room. And we got another battle going between Jarviston and Kerr for the McLaren and the Red Bull. Hopefully he'll get some wings. And Ruddo cannot do anything about it at the minute, but Dowell is slowly pulling away, Tim.
So Rudo, last week's winner, struggling around Azerbaijan. Daryl having a good showing there as we go back to Michael Luke. Still about half a second behind Ryan, and he seems to be maintaining this gap, just trying to put some pressure on the Haas driver. Martin
has had a bit of a moment at turn 3, so he drops them all the way down to 18th place, Tim. Sorry to interrupt.
So meanwhile, though, while Ryan is, trying to tow Michael Luke around, we will take a look at MDJ and Russman now. 1.5 seconds separating each driver, so MDJ, much like the sprint race, very much in command of this race and solidly out ahead. But Russman may be learning a little bit from Smoke and just trying to get out ahead a little bit and not let anyone get the DRS on him like he was mentioning in the sprint race. And, of course, I had to poke a little bit of fun at Smoke there and say that he was probably chewing Russman out. So I'm wondering if it worked.
Well, I hope so. But at the moment, I can't see it getting close to MDJ. Oh, crash! We've got a crash! We will have a safety car. Surely there'll be a safety car. Yes! There is a massive Red Bull crash. Oh, my God. That was an unfortunate accident. Hit the wall and lost the front wing, Tim. And lost the front wheel as well on the left-hand side.
So MDJ, Rustman, and Ryan, your top three at the moment. And like you said, Malk, it's a safety car. So, well, we have just a few more laps before we go back racing. And, man, that's actually a shame because this is one of the longest racetracks.
It is one of the longest tracks. But, surprisingly, though, and this is what's interesting, Bruce, he's got himself into the hard tyres now. Joe Hamster will be on the hard tyres. Same with Rudder. Speed Creed and Trems, they're going on the medium tyre now. And Martin will go on the hard tyres. So, yeah, so that is... No, some drivers will stop the hards. That's what's happening now. Smoke. Some drivers should be pitting for the... which you would think for the hard tyres. But, I mean, personally, this is just my opinion. If you guys want to mention about it, do you think these guys will pit, the top six will pit, or do you think they'll keep on the medium tyres to start off with? We'll find out sooner or later. If you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live races itself. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help to myself, Malk, and Tim for the commentators box, as well as the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel as well. But it was a nasty crash from Kerr going on to that just before that long straight and hitting the wall as well, Tim.
Yeah, and it is unfortunate for Kerr, so that's going to be our first DNF. But one thing I will say, though, is this safety car has been a massive break for those drivers that started on the soft tires. I know that we were questioning that decision from those drivers, but as you can see, they have pitted and changed those tires. Well, except for Kerr, because he started on the softs and wrecked on the softs, sadly, but still.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just a shame. It really is just a shame, though, because the racing was really good, and I was enjoying the green flag run. Absolutely,
but look at this, Tim. Cameron, who was the first ever PC driver to get into the podium in the Reels Performance League, he's on, well, I'm not saying unfortunately, but he is on the softs. I don't know if that's a good strategy call, or that was a mistake from the pit crew, or that is his actual strategy to try and go for like the softs and then probably mediums at the end, possibly, and then see how it goes. But I don't know whether that's... he will have to pit again anyway, Cameron. Tim.
Didn't Michael Schumacher win a race with like a bunch of pit stops or something one time? He'll be all right.
Yeah, I think it was about 5-6 pit stops, wasn't it?
I wasn't going to try to guess the number. I don't remember the number, but it was insane.
Yeah, I think it was about... Well, it might have been more. Whoever's in the F1 fanatics and they know the stats, tell us if we got it right or wrong. But I'm sure it was 5 or 6. I'm sure it was 5 or 6 pit stops. It was stupidly mad, but he did win the race. But... Anywho, guys, we are live and exclusive at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. If you just joined us, good evening to you all. You've just missed the safety car mode. Well, I say missed. We are during the safety car mode. We just missed the crash that's brought the safety car out. So Kerr's unfortunately the first driver out this evening in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Matty Rudson said with 37 stops, all hard tyres. Oh, that would have been insane. That would have been massively insane. But yeah, so so that's what's happening, guys. We are just waiting for all the drivers. Well, we're just waiting for IRL to get himself near to the back of the grid, and we'll be back live racing for you guys as well. But Tim, there's so much battles going on. MDJ is doing really well. MDJ is doing really well at the moment. Can he keep that consistency going, though?
Honestly, I think that's what we're going to see is just more of the same from MDJ. Now, sure, he's got his hands full here on this restart. Rustman, he's going to be ready to pounce, but one thing we've got to remember is we're not going to have DRS for the first 3 laps. So Rustman, he's going to have to maintain raw pace and stay within a second of MDJ if he is going to keep himself in contention for this lead early on. And I'm just not sure if Rustman's going to be able to do that, because we've seen how quickly MDJ can get around this course today, and it just seems like this is MDJ's race to lose.
Absolutely, but I mean, if Smoke is with Rustman now, surely Rustman would have all the tips that Smoke's taught him all that time, except for the sprint. We'll forget the sprint from Rustman's point, from Smoke Rustman's point of view. But if Rustman can try and get a good start onto MDJ, that'll be a good momentum. But what MDJ has to do, he has to bunch the cars up. Ryan's in the podium. I thought you might have been in the with the chat itself, Smoke. Sorry, my apologies. But yeah, so if Rustman can get a good start against MDJ, that'll be good momentum. And just a comment from Smoke says Schumacher won a race in the pit lane. You are absolutely right. He did that at Silverstone, I think it was Silverstone. Unless I'm mistaken, tell me if I'm going wrong. But we are back. The safety car will be going back into the pits, Tim. I'll let you go back and do the honours of the commentary.
Riding on board with Rustman, MDJ will be the control car, gets to decide when we go, as long as it's before the start-finish line. Let's see what kind of a jump he can get on Rustman. This could make or break Rustman's run. Of course, it's early on in the race, so doesn't mean that Rustman's going to be out of it, but if he can't stay with MDJ, that just means that he's going to have that much work to do later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Smoke says, Tim knows what I'm like as an engineer. Lol.
I know exactly what he's like as an engineer. He'll be screaming at Rustman if he doesn't win this thing. But we are green, so Smoke's probably pretty quiet now, letting his driver race as they go into turn number 1.
Yellow flag set to 3, yellow flag set to 2, not sure where that's come from, but we are back live racing, and just watching from the back of the grid, looks like Darrell goes back to 4, and the McLaren of Joe Hampson again, pressure on Bruce, and Tedeli has crashed. Tedeli has crashed, and through that empty turn 2 gap itself, so he will drop himself all the way down to 18th place, unfortunately, Tim.
Meanwhile, MDJ is gaining on Rustman. 1.2 seconds between the two drivers as Ryan is right on the back of Rustman. On board with Ryan now, and my goodness, he was really chopping the wheel into the corner.
Bruce goes upside moment now. It's the spud.
Contact and a spin, the McLaren.
Right, what happened was, Tim, Bruce and Spud were battling out, and I think it caught out Joe Amster on the side and lost the car completely. I think there was contact, unless I'm mistaken, there was contact from when he was trying to turn, and unfortunately he hit the wall. He'll be at the back of the grid, so he'll have to push on. I don't know whether he had throwing damage, Joe Amster, but he's racing still. But look at Ruddo. Ruddo's trying to make the move on the inside line, but cannot do it. Oh my God! Trems! I tell you what, Trems was trying to make I don't know whether he was trying to a bit of a late break move, but I tell you what, they've got to be careful, some of the driving itself. But he's already got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and down the straight now. Ruddo against Spud. Ruddo against Spud. Can he try and make the move? Michaels moves up to 4th. Darrell drops down to 5th. Ruddo goes upside moment now. Oh my God. 2 in the bed. Come on! We want the 2 in the bed moment now. Ruddo. So Spud, he's going to try and hold on the inside line. And then try to hold on turn 2.
And contact.
Contact. But look at this. Speed Queen is just on the side, and oh my god, we can have a 2 in the bed. Come on, Spud. Oh, he's trying to make the move. Fair play. So Spud and Speed Queen are teammates. They're going to be careful not to cause any havoc. And I think there's a bit of contact at the back. I think it was Cameron who dropped himself down at 14th, Tim. Sorry.
My goodness. It is really getting dicey here in the back, and it's pretty much been that way the entire race. Sir Spud making contact with the wall once, maybe twice there, and losing 2 positions in the meantime. And now you got Martin, who is trying to find a way around Sir Spud, but you saw him and Cameron Searle have a bit of a moment there just a moment ago as well.
Absolutely, and this is what we like to see. Everyone's just trying to, I know they're trying to get the points, but they need to be patient. They need to be patient enough. But again, you just don't know what's going to impact on the other driver ahead. Whether they're not brake testing, but like try and brake a little bit earlier than normal because of the tyre wear or the wing damage. You never know what they've got, so you never know. So Cameron is getting close to Martin for 14, 13 respectively. Just watching Keza try and get close, but it looks like Ryan's also getting close to Russman in second and third place, and DRS is back in on the live racing now, Tim.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ryan, he really has been charging through the field. Of course, he started in the 8th position, found his way into 4th on the first lap, and now just trying to get around Russman. He should have the DRS here, but is he going to be close enough to make that move? Half a second back. That's going to be a little bit cutting it a little close here. He's looking on the inside, but he has to back out of it. Can't really make that move there, but going to use that slipstream and try to stick with him. There will be another DRS zone coming up, but they've got to pretty much wait until the next lap because that is the very long pit straightaway.
Absolutely. Look at this. Ryan is also trying to get close to Russman. Darrell's just behind. He can't afford to make a mistake. He really can't afford to make a mistake. Cameron's getting closest to Spud in 12th place and 13th respectively. Just watching Ryan going through the castle section now. I'm sure Russman will be fuming to try not to catch up to MDJ, who's pulling away like no man's business, Tim.
Yeah, and MDJ, he's just got to be loving what he's seeing, though. But Russman has got to be very frustrating as Ryan gets into the wall.
Ryan's hit the wall, but he's got front wing. He's still got front wing. He's got front wing. But look at Darrell. Look at Darrell. He's going to try and go make the move. Come on. Oh, come on. Could we have a 3-event moment with Michael Lutz, Darrell, and Ryan? Oh my God, we could have. Come on. Come on! Come on! We want the 3-event moment now. Oh, they can't make the move just yet, but they need to use that effective moment now. They're getting closer. Michael's trying to get close. They can't make the move. Oh my God, Darrell nearly went to the back of Ryan. But Michael, don't you dare, Michael. Don't you dare. Here we go. They try and make the move now. Kesa's going to the pits now. Kesa's going into the pits. But, oh, come on. We want some battles galore, guys.
Well, Malk, I'm going to tell you right now, Darrell Whiffen going into turn number 1, you made note of it. That has got to be about the latest that you can break into that corner and still survive.
Was it millimeters?
It was definitely millimeters. At least from my view, it looked like he was millimeters from hitting Ryan and then millimeters from hitting the wall. It was very impressive, but out of all of it, I don't think he lost any speed. I actually think that was just his preferred line.
Absolutely, and Smoke says, Joe going for pole next week, lol. That wing has damaged, surely. I believe so, I believe so, Smoke, sorry. I think Ryan's surely has got wing damage. But look at this, Tim. Top 5, well, say, between 2nd and 5th, they're all going for it. But look at Ginger Tiger now, try and make the move on Nigel Gash, and he does. And Bruce has also made the move on Nigel Gash, who's also on that hard tyre stint. So, we haven't mentioned about Nigel Gash, actually. He's just steadily along throughout the race pace itself. Smoke says Russman needs to stop. And I think he needs to pit at some point, the way Smoke is shouting at, well, it feels like he's shouting at Russman to pit, but it's just when or how it's going to be. So,
and here goes Rudo making a move on Nitro Gash for the 8th position into turn number 1. Does he clear him? Only just. Meanwhile, ahead, it's Bruce Lee Harding trying to get around Ginger Tiger, but no such luck for him as Ginger Tiger, our defending champion, having a good run today. We haven't really been able to talk about him, but running in the 6th position so far and on the medium tire stint, so we should see him pit in the next few laps. And, you know, going back onto what you said about Smoke saying Russman. Oh! Was that Nitro Gash?
Yeah, Nitro Gash. Nitro Gash was going side by side with Rudo. I don't think, the way it looked, unless Rudo sees it differently from our screens, it looked like there was not enough room for Nitro to make the move. They were going side up to the corner, and Nitrogas had to fully stop. Otherwise, he would have lost his front wing anyway. So unfortunately for him, he'll drop himself all the way down to 11th place. Ruddo will hold on in 8th, Tim.
Still watching Bruce Lee Harding and Ginger Tiger here. But going back on the pit stops, Malk, I actually find it surprising that Smoke is not talking to Rustman and not being his race engineer for this race. I actually was under the impression that Smoke and Rustman legitimately were communicating, but from what you're saying, that is not the case. So maybe Smoke actually is pretty much shouting, saying that Rustman does need to pit. Of course, you know that for the past couple of seasons, they were teammates. Now Smoke has switched to the PC side of things. Rustman still over here on the PS4 side. And he listened to him, goes into the pits.
Yes, so Rustman, Daryl, and Michael have all gone into the pits now. MDJ and Ryan, they have all going into not do the pits. So Russ Smoke saying yes. So that means finally he has listened to Smoke on that. To be fair, so some of the drivers who are on the medium stints, they'll try their best to go as long as possible. It looks like Keza was just unlucky, but he will have the DRS. He will have the DRS on Rustman now for 12 and 13. Keza, I thought he was going to try and go the inside line, but Rustman could not do anything about it. We'll have to go on the inside line. Keza, and I'll tell you what, that's a good move from Keza, Tim.
A very good move indeed, and he gets himself into the 12th position, at least for now. Let's take a look now at Rudo and Speed Queen 80, who have been very close to one another for the past lap or so. At least Rudo in 5th, Speed Queen 80 in the 4th position now. Two different tire strategies going on here. Speed Queen 80 on the medium tires with Rudo on the hard, but both of them 8 laps on the tires right now.
Absolutely. Rudo at the back, his back car just completely went. So luckily he's just surviving in the race itself, but you can tell the back end is just, I'm not saying it's gone because it's already done 8 laps. Oh my god, who was that? That was Cameron.
Yeah,
surely Cameron's hit the wall. Sorry, Tim.
He had a big kiss on the wall and no wing damage that I can see, so maybe he's a-okay, but all the same, that was a definitely a sizable bit of contact.
Absolutely, and IRL trying to close the gap onto Spud. MDJ is also trying to go into the pits now. So this is the undercut. What Smoke's saying. Smoke's saying that the undercut should work. That's why he should have done it last lap. So where's MDJ? This is the big question of it all. Where's Rustman? Rustman's just come up to the first corner now. And Rustman is nowhere near MDJ. MDJ is in 9th place. MDJ is in 9th place. Kez is getting close to ARL for 11th and 12th. Trems is getting close to Martin for 7th and 8th, respectively, Tim.
And that has got to hurt Rustman. I actually think that MDJ might have been able to gain a little bit on Rustman through the cycle of pit stops, but that might not last for long because MDJ has got some cars ahead of him on older tires, and it's going to take a lap or two to really get the heat in those hard compound tires for MDJ, but once he does, we should be seeing him pick these drivers off fairly quickly, those who don't pit first, because of how long they've been out there. But lap 13 of 26, so we are at the halfway point, and going through the gas section.
ARL, sorry Tim, ARL has made a crash. I think he's alright, I think he's okay, but he's got to be careful not to cause any more havoc at the minute. But sorry Tim, do apologies.
So a former champion of ARL just really struggling here today. Our defending champion of Ginger Tiger in the 16th position also struggling here today. Another champion watching the stream because he refuses to race today. I'm joking with you, Smoke. I know you switched over to the PC side. But in all seriousness, Ginger Tiger and and ARL, they are both champions of the Performance League. And they are struggling. They are not in the top 10. It's insane. Like what's going on?
I don't know. I can't fathom out what's going on, but anything can happen. Yellow flags on sector 1. Who is that? That is a blue car. I think that might be Spud. Yeah, it is. It's a Spud. It's lost it at turn 1. Hopefully that's not going to compromise too much. Joe Amsler's just lost communication with his car, but he's back in, hopefully. Michael and Travis are in the pits, Tim.
Now here's Daryl Whiffen in the Mercedes, running in P9 at the moment. Now, I would love to tell you virtually who is in the lead after the pit stop cycle through, but not 100% sure where everyone else is going to line up. I know MDJ should be re-inheriting the lead sooner rather than later, as soon as everyone else ahead of him makes their pit stops. Where the rest of them fall, well, we're going to have to wait and see, but I think that Daryl Whiffen should be in second, with Ryan in third and Russman in fourth.
Michael's had a bit of a mare at turn 3, so he's back live racing now, but he's had a terrible time at the minute on those 11 laps of those medium tyres. So Smoke's saying, I do refuse to race. Hello, hello, hello. He says, I came kind of late. How you doing, mate? Hope you came well. He's saying that MDJ will still net P1, Keza P2, and Dowell P3. What do you think about that, Tim?
Say it again.
So he's saying MDJ will still net P1, Keza in P2, and Darrell in P3.
Oh yeah, actually, you're right. I did not notice that Keza 4 laps on those hard tires, so he's actually in prime spot right now to be in the second position.
Absolutely, and he's just got ahead of Esteban Martin now. But unless Martin can try and make the move, he will have the DRS. But remember, Keza's got a lot of ERS compared to Martin, so he's got a good opportunity. So he can use that to be effective as things stand. But Ruddo's getting close to Bruce. Tim, Ruddo is getting close to Bruce.
So let's see what these two drivers do. Bruce Lee Harding 11 laps on those hard tires. Ruddo 11 laps as well. We should be expecting these drivers, Speed Queen, Bruce, Ruddo, Cameron, Nitro, the top 5 really, we should be expecting to see them pit within the next, what would you say, 2 laps, 3 at the most, right, Mal?
For the hard tires, you mean? Sorry, Tim. Do apologise.
Well, even for Speed Queen 80, because she's got 11 laps on those medium tires, so it'd likely behoove her to try and pit with the hard tire runners. However, one thing that I'm thinking she might be trying to do here is try to make those medium tires last as long as she can, and then go to the softs at the end.
Yeah, so I think... Oh! Sorry, Tim. Aero has completely spoiled. I think he hit the curb and lost it completely. Ruddo's made the move on to Bruce. For second place. So Bruce are holding on for dear life. But Bruce has got himself a good opportunity. But going back to your question, Tim. Normally the medium tyres, unless Smoke says, or anyone else says otherwise, normally the medium tyres should last half of the lap. So that's 13 laps. Maybe 14. 14 laps. That's if you go manage your tyre wear really well. And that's like the maximum you can do before it goes completely gone off. But look at this, Ruddo's getting even closer now. 1.2 seconds down to Speed Queen. So anything can happen.
But you know, one thing that you were saying earlier, Malchus, Speed Queen 80, she is quite well known for managing her tires. So if it's 14 laps normally, should we just add like a +2 for Speed Queen?
So yeah, I mean probably another 2 laps on top. But from your perspective, Tim, I mean it depends. If I don't know whether she's just trying to wait until we get another safety car, but I can't see that happening. I really cannot see that happening. I think everyone's just all spread out and got enough to get the opportunity. But I would be very surprised if the hard tyres for the drivers who have got well, I say not pitted yet, but they will pit. But remember, Cameron did pit on the softs, and he's on, and he did go himself back onto the hard tyres again. So he's already done 10 laps of it. Smoke says most have done E16, but it got a bit sketchy. So that's 16 laps on those medium tyres, Smoke's saying, Tim.
All right, so we should be expecting Speed Queen to pit very soon, which, of course, we were not anticipating the medium tires to last to the end. However, you were talking about how Cameron has already pitted from the soft compound tires. Rudo and Bruce Lee Harding, they have also already pitted as well. So they don't have to pit again as long as they can make the tires last. Obviously, making the tires last is a different thing entirely, but as far as the rules go, they don't have to pit.
That's true. But I tell you what, though. This is going to be quite interesting. Let's have a look at the stops. Everyone has done a stop except for Nitrogash. Nitrogash is the only one who's not pitted yet, and he needs to pit at some point. Everyone else has done at least one pit stop. So if Cameron can get himself into the top 3, that'll be impressive. But MDJ with those fresh hard tyres, I just can't see that happening, Tim.
Yeah, and MDJ, he has just been a man on a mission all day. He dominated the sprint race, has, for the most part, dominated the feature race until the pit cycle kind of threw things a little wonky. But MDJ running in the 5th position now, Nitro Gash behind him about a second. But like you were saying, Nitro Gash, the only driver who has yet to make a pit stop. So we're going to be seeing him come in sooner rather than later, I'm sure. But assuming that the top 4 do pit and MDJ does inherit the lead, like we were saying, it's MDJ, Keza, and Daryl Whiff, and that at the moment it's looking to be the top 3, assuming the top 4 pit.
Absolutely, and here we go. Bruce is trying to get so close, but look at Ruddo now. Ruddo is getting close to Speed Queen. Speed Queen's tyres must be absolutely shot now. Ruddo has got a bit more ERS compared to Speed Queen. Speed Queen needs to use that experience to hold on for as long as possible. As I said, as what Smoke says, 16 laps is the most that he has done, but then it gets really sketchy. In other words, really struggling like hell, and the tyres are not going to be giving. So I'll be very, very surprised if that happens at this stage. But look at Ruddo now. Ruddo, with that one stop, 14 laps already. Obviously the hard tyres should theoretically last about 20. Oh, Nitrogash. What's happened to Nitrogash? Nitrogash has had an accident before the castle section, and he's dropped himself down to 11th place, Tim.
So unfortunate for Nitrogash, who's now 17 laps out there on those tires, and starting to wonder if maybe that has something to do with why he's slipping and sliding around. I can't notice a puncture. All the same, those tires have got to be screaming.
I don't think it was a punch. I don't think it was an issue. I think it was just. I think it's more to do with the fact that there was a mistake happened at just before the castle section. MDJ's got himself ahead of Cameron with 5 laps already been done. 16 laps. There's 5 laps compared to 16 laps of those hard tyres. Scotty says car gives way at turn 18 if you're not careful on bad wear. Absolutely. And Cameron,
Tedeli, something's happened with Tedeli now, or is that a retirement in the pits? Oh, no, it's not. It's a safety car.
Oh my god. Safety car. Smokes is pretty much all over the track with tyre wear here. Absolutely. And we've got our second safety car. Now, I think I was wondering why Cameron pitted, but then I saw Tedeli was completely DNF'd, and now everyone should go on the soft tyres. If no one does, I will be gobsmacked, and I will say it again. I will be gobsmacked. It looks like Spud is the only one who's not gambling on those soft tyre stints, which I'm quite surprised at, because everyone should be pitting for the softs. This is a great opportunity for Joe, ARL, and Michael again to get themselves back into the racing, and I don't need to worry about too much now. But I'll be very surprised. Scotty says Cameron with a really good chance now, and Smoke says Cameron needs to go buy a lottery ticket with that luck. Absolutely, Smoke. Absolutely. If he doesn't do that, then there's something wrong. He won't win the Euro Millions.
Yeah.
at the weekend as well. So I'll be very surprised, Tim, if the top 9 do not pit at this stage.
Well,
Be very, very surprised.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a different outlook on that, Malk. The top 3, I think, is a shoe-in to pit. I mean, that is a given. But
yeah,
if I were MDJ, and here in 20 seconds, I could see that this opinion is wrong. But for now, if I were MDJ, I would think twice and maybe think about staying out. And
he's not.
MDJ does not stay out, so it doesn't matter. But the reason I say that, though, is assuming that he stays out and maybe 2, 3, 4 people behind him stay out, then you've got a nice little buffer between yourself and the drivers on the soft tires. Now, I know it is usually a no-brainer, go on the soft tires when it's a late race safety car, but we just have not seen the soft tires perform today. That being said, when everyone's on the soft tire, well, you have to. So, like I said, in 20 seconds, we could find that my opinion would have been wrong, and, well, it would have been. all the same, I hope you see the thought process there.
I like how you did it. You build it up, but then all of a sudden you found out they were going to the pits anyway. I love the thought process. I would have thought he would have kept the hards, but then, because everyone else is going for the softs near the end, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer to go on the softs. And I'm surprised with Michael, the only one who's not going on the soft tyre stint. But that's the only one. We could have a full house with the soft sprint. Just reading some of the comments. Scotty says Cameron has my first season luck. Had a podium streak the entire season, and at least 3 were because of the last few laps having an incident. Smoke says, back to the sprint race mindset. Lol. That's what Smoke says to you, Tim. And Marlon says, true, Smoke. Absolutely. So here we go. This is sprint galore now. Today is out of the race now. Sorry, Tim.
Now, there is something that we have to pay attention to, though, here, is Speed Queen 80 leading this race, most of the field on even tires. Has she won in the Performance League? Could we be looking at a first-time winner?
I am not jinxing. I really do not want to jinx, because you got Ruddo, you got Bruce on that Ferrari, MDJ on that Haas car. That could be quick. That could be really, really quick. Ruddo against the Aston Martin. Sorry, Ruddo on the Alpine, I think it was. Yeah, against an Aston Martin. She's got to use that experience. If we see her for the very first time to win her first race,
there is a huge gap between them, though. However, the safety car is still out. But even still, that just really surprised me. It's like, wow, what's going on? It was something wrong with Ruddo. But no, as you can see, nothing was wrong. He was just a little bit slower on the front straightaway.
I don't know whether it's just mind tricks, mind games, just to see what would happen on the straight and just hope for the best. But the safety car won't be coming in. I reckon the safety car will come in on this lap. If not, the next lap. So it's between lap 21, 22 will be the way forward for the safety car to come in, depending on how Joe, ARL, and Michael can catch up to the guys ahead on the pack. But I more than likely will say that I reckon the safety car will come in on this lap. Smoke says, I would have tried to stay out for track position. With the hard tyre and everyone else on the softs, would you have stayed out when everyone's on the softs and you're on the hards?
No.
If it was mediums, if it was just fresh mediums, could be different. But I think the softs, I would have just pitted anyway. That would have been my opinion. What about you, Tim? You saying you would pit anyway?
Well, see, what I was saying earlier is if I was MDJ, my thought process was to gamble, stay out on the hard tires, thinking that a few drivers behind would follow suit. That way, you've got a buffer between you and the soft tire runners. But when you already see that a lot of people are diving in to get the soft tires, you're gonna have to go and get soft tires. There's no scenario in which the soft tires are not gonna be the best choice when you have quite literally everybody on the soft compound.
Here we go. Here we go. Come on! We have got 6 more laps remaining. 6 more laps remaining. And Smoke says he said yes, he would have stayed out. Marlos, the speed creep playing about to start solo on hot. Absolutely. Matty says, come on, Rudo. And Smoke says, no DRS for 3 laps. Nearly impossible to pass in sector 2. Here we go. Speed Queen needs to get a good start, Tim. And I think we're back live racing now, Tim.
That we are. Speed Queen 80, she gets a decent start. Rudo in second place, trying to go 2 for 2, and he's got just a few laps to decide it all.
Here we go. This is the make or break moments for the next few laps. Also, I'm just watching through the mid-pack. Ryan's trying to get close to Cameron in 7th place. And trying to do everything he can down the straight with no DRS. Trems drops down to 15. Joe Hamster, no. Trems backwards to 14. 15 is Joe Hamster. As long as they don't switch positions. Looks like Russman. Russman makes the move on the inside. Just not doing just yet, Tim.
So back to 10th place now, looking at Russman. And he has got Ginger Tiger right behind him, trying to get around SFR Martin, though. And, you know, this safety car really did throw a spanner into the works as far as the running order goes, because you got to remember, Russman, at the halfway point, was in contention for a podium. Now, he's struggling to stay in the top 10.
He is. He's struggling to get into the top 10. Looks like Trems has made a mistake. A few drivers have made a mistake just before the castle section, so... Not sure what's going on at the minute, but we've got a good battle going from 5th place. But I want to get back to the top 2, because look at this. A second gap now between nearly a second gap between Speed Queen and Rudo. So this is where the crucial point of it all. Just trying to look at using all that ERS. Looks like Rudo's got a little bit more ERS compared to Speed Queen. Needs to push on. Cameron's getting close to Darryl. And this is going to be unbelievable moments, Tim, so I'll let you carry on. And I think there's a battle for two-car battle starts between Cameron and Darryl.
And we've got Bruce Lee Harding in 3rd, though. We've got to stick with this top 3, top 4, as you see MDJ right on the back of Bruce Lee Harding. MDJ, he's trying to get his way back into the 1st spot. Remember, he dominated the sprint race and the majority of the feature race before the pit cycle. Now we see him struggling to get back into the podium positions now that he is on even footing with every other driver, but he goes around the outside of Bruce Lee Harding, gets the job done. What a fantastic move from MDJ. He's got 2 more drivers to pick off if he's going to win this race, and only 4 laps to do it. Speed Queen 80 and Rudo, just about a second between them, just under a second to be exact. And Malk, you were saying it earlier, Speed Queen 80 knows exactly what she has to do. She has to get over a second ahead of Rudo. That way he does not have the DRS. And just as I say that, look at MDJ, who has dropped 1.2 seconds behind Rudo now. We're waiting on the DRS to be active, and when it is, we are going to see all hell break loose. The floodgates will open, and it is going to be mania to close out the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Here we go. Here we go. And here we go with Rudo trying to close the gap. But look at MDJ, needs to try and close the gap in the next lap or so, because it looks like he's got more pressure moments. Scotty says Speed Queen's being consistently quick here. Absolutely, but it's 6/10 now. 6/10 the gap. Rudo is using much of that ERS, and he's still got a bit more ERS compared to Speed Queen. This is where the pressure is going to be mounting now. Rudo fastest lap of the race, 1:43.650. No, Cameron's got the fastest lap, 1:43.421 now, and he could be able to chance to make the move on to Keza. DRS is now enabled now. Oh my god. Oh my god, DRS is now enabled. Rudo has got DRS. Yellow flags up to 1. Who is that? Who is that? That is Nitrogas, Tim.
And Rudo trying to get by Speed Queen 80 cannot get the job done this time. He's going to have to stick right with that Aston Martin and have a run on the home straightaway. And it is going to be it's going to be 3 laps to go, when we get to the front straightaway. You remember those hiccups that I told you about, Malk? Well, now it's just progressed into a scratchy throat to decide it all. So Azerbaijan has claimed yet another victim, the commentator. But I'm still out here, and we're gonna see this to the end. Speed Queen 80, Rudo, MDJ, your top 3 with Bruce Lee Harding and Keza, your top 5. Could we see a first-time winner in Speed Queen 80? Could Rudo go 2 for 2? MDJ, could he debatably take what is his rightful place on the first spot of that podium today after a dominating performance in the sprint race and the first half of this feature race? Lap 24 of 26, MDJ 0.7 of a second behind Rudo. Rudo half a second behind Speed Queen 80.
Here we go. We got straight line speed now, going through the barriers now before the straight line of the DRS. Look at Rudo now. Rudo's 2/10. 2/10 now. Rudo will have a DRS and will be effective. He needs to use that effectiveness now. Stop sign moment now. Speed Queen will be going drop down to second place. She will drop down second. This is where Rudo, if Rudo gets the second win on the bounce, this will be a perfect moment for Rudo. But here we go. Can Speed Queen bounce back? If Speed Queen can bounce back, this is perfect. Michael's out. Michael is out, Tim.
And that will not be a safety car. We're too close to the end. It's just 2 laps to go now. 2 laps to go. Lap 25 of 26. And we've got a 3-car battle for the lead between Rudo, Speed Queen 80, and MDJ. But let's not count out Bruce Lee Harding as well. They're in the 4th position. So 4 cars fighting it out, trying to see who's going to be on the top spot at the end of it. Lap 25 of 26, and Speed Queen 80 is losing a little bit of ground to Rudo.
Yeah, but she can't afford to lose out. She needs to be within a second before they get to the straight line of the DRS. But looks like she's more going through. She's better. Oh, Cameron's out. Cameron is out. Cameron is out of the race. And I think he hit the castle section. I think he has. He's hit the castle section. Tim.
Yeah, and then there were fewer with Cameron Searle out of this race with just 2 laps to go. Rudo, Speed Queen 80, MDJ, still no change in that top 3, but this is going to be Speed Queen 80's moment here. She is going to have an opportunity to maybe, just maybe, get by Rudo, but we're going to have to keep an eye out for MDJ as well, because he's going to be looking to get by Speed Queen 80. He knows that if he's going to win this race, he's going to have to make some moves now, because he's going to only have 1 more lap to catch Rudo, and it's starting to look like MDJ's chances at a victory are dwindling with each passing meter that they travel. But it's Rudo, Speed Queen 80, and MDJ, your top 3, as it is now the white flag lap. 1 more lap to go. Speed Queen 80 right on the back of Rudo, should have the DRS coming out of turn number 2, but will she be able to make the move? Rudo, he knows what he has to do, and he kicked it into high gear off of turn number 2. Speed Queen 80 taking advantage of the DRS, and you can see the interval shrinking half a second, 0.4 of a second now, but not close enough to make the move. Meanwhile, MDJ actually lost ground to Speed Queen 80 that time around, so it's looking like his chances at a victory are still getting that much smaller. It's between 2 cars at the moment, assuming that those 2 cars keep it clean. That is the Alpine of Rudo and the Aston Martin of Speed Queen 80. Rudo, he won last week, trying to go 2 in a row, 2 for 2. He comes into this race your points leader as well. At this rate, maybe he's thinking about a championship run. Speed Queen 80 right on the back of Rudo. This will be her final chance when they get to the pit straightaway. There will be a DRS zone. That will be her opportunity to get by Rudo. But just as we say that, Rudo puts about 0.4 of a second between the 2 drivers. Speed Queen 80 driving it hard into the corner. This will be her last shot. Here we go. Does she have anything left at all for this Alpine? She's going to have to give it her all, and she slides just a little bit of a wiggle off the corner. That might have killed all the momentum that she needed to get by Rudo. All the same, she's given it her all, but I don't think that her all is going to be enough. Coming down the pit straightaway, all he's got to do is keep his foot to the floor, and he's going to be okay. It's the Alpine of Rudo, 2 in a row in the Performance League for the Invictus Racing League. Speed Queen 80 in 2nd place, and MDJ in 3rd.
Absolutely, what a drive from Rudo. Really unlucky from Speed Queen. She did everything she could. She did absolutely everything that she could. MDJ will finish off in 3rd. Bruce in 4th. Ryan, the Xbox driver. Well done to him. He finishes off in 5th on his debut race. Keza in 6th, Russman in 7th, Darrell in 8th, Esteban Martin on his debut as well, a reserve driver in 9th, Spud in 10th, Ginger Tiger 11th, ARL will finish off in 12th with frustration, Nitrogas will finish off in 13th, and Joe Amster with no front, left and left-hand plate of the front wing. So, Scotty says, great performance from the majority of the drivers. Best race this week, I reckon. If you think it is the best race, hit that like button. Hit that like button. It has been a really good race, to be fair. It's been a dramatic ending. Absolutely dramatic. I mean, fair play. Really, really fair play to all the drivers. It was a good job.
So we will talk to our top 3 finishers should they want to join in and talk to us. We talked to Rudo last week, I know, and we've also had conversations with MDJ. Not sure if Speed Queen will be able to join us.
I don't know if Speed Queen will join us, but I would like to get her to join in to the commentators box for once. I think she will when she wins the race, I reckon, I think. But yeah, well done to Rudo. Second win on the bounce on the feature race. Fantastic drive. Speed Queen really unlucky. She did everything she could to stop, but she couldn't do anything about it by lap 24. And so mad seas, to be fair. And well done to MDJ. I think MDJ is a little bit annoyed because I think he had the win in the bag. Had that safety car not been too effective, should we say?
Yeah. Definitely effective, but all the same, here is your officially unofficial results for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix pending any steward inquiries. Rudo in 1st, MDJ in 2nd, 3rd is Bruce Lee Harding, Speed Queen 80 in 4th, and oh, actually, my apologies, that is actually the weekend results because, well, I just made a bit of a shenanigan. So we're going to go to the actual race results. Rudo in 1st, Speed Queen 80 in 2nd, MDJ in 3rd, Bruce Lee Harding in 4th, 5th is Ryan, Keza in 6th, Russman in 7th, 8th is Daryl Whiffen, Martin in 9th, Sir Spud in 10th, 11th is Ginger Tiger, ARL in 12th, 13th is Nitro Gash, 14th is Joe Hamster, Cameron Searle in 15th, 16th is Michael Luke, Trims J in 17th, 18th is Tadeli, and then 19th is Ka. And yeah, the weekend results, they always get me, Mac.
It always gets you all the time. It gets you all the time, shall we say. We're just waiting for... we've just got MDJ just joining in now. We're just waiting for Rudo. And if Speed Queen wants to join, she's more than welcome to. Otherwise, we're just going to do the 1st and 3rd place finishes for the interviews. So... But yeah, while we try and get Rudo to get himself into the commentators box, what was your performance? What was your thoughts of the race itself? Right, the actual performance of the race itself, Tim.
Well, one thing with Azerbaijan that I always look forward to is the differing pit strategies, because we did see that today with some drivers starting on the mediums and then some of them starting on the hards, and I really like to see that dynamic of mediums to hards versus hard to mediums and how that stacks up against the rest of the field. And it's just seemed that in the past, this is one of the best tracks to observe that. So I was looking forward to it. Then the safety cars happened. But the safety cars, especially that last one, it bunched the field up and it really gave us a nail-biter of a finish. So I'm not at all complaining. It was a fantastic finish and it was a good race.
It was a really, really good race, to be fair. And... just trying to hear what their thoughts are from the race itself. We're just waiting for, hopefully, Rudo to join in, and he's just joining in now. I'm hoping Speed Queen will, but if not, we will do the 1st and 3rd place. But while we're waiting, so just waiting to see how everything plans out. But there might be a question to ask for Rudo if later on, so we'll just get that confirmed. But we'll just get that confirmed in a minute or two. So, before you say anything, guys, sorry for the pause. If you want to make sure you allow a voice to be shared, make sure it's set to always allow. If you're not sure how to do it, go to the party settings, and there's an option called allow voice to be shared. Make sure it's set to always allow. We're waiting for that to get themselves sorted and ready to go. Tim, I've been given a request by one of the questions to Ruddo specifically will be if he's going for Smoke's record of four race wins back to back of that
I
record.
wonder who asked
So
that.
yeah, we'll find out sooner rather than later. But if you can answer that, if you can ask that question to Ruddo, that'll be perfect. So, Ruddo and MDJ, are you guys all set, ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll start with we'll start with the interviews, and Tim will be doing the actual interviews itself. So Tim, I'll let you do the honors.
And we'll start with our winner, Rudo. So Rudo, first off, how does it feel to go 2 for 2 here? And does this give you a lot of confidence for the championship, even though it's still early in the season?
It was a tough one today. Both races have been tough. Starting in the middle, just trying to keep out of trouble for the sprint, and then a bit further towards the front. I was just trying to keep out of trouble, and then I'll be honest, it was just a gamble in terms of pitting early. So Bruce and I were discussing it, and he called it to go into the pit. So I dived in, and luckily it worked out for us. So I think the boys at the front, if there wasn't an early safety car, it would have been difficult to catch.
And also, your thoughts on the prospect of maybe going 4 wins in a row?
I think it's way too early to think of anything like that. I think, I'll give it my best shot, but there's so many good people in this league. So I'm expecting some cars probably to be moved around as well. So I'll give it a good go, but it could have gone either way for me today. I think MDJ was rapid, and I could see him coming as well, and I was just hoping that Bruce could hold him up a little bit, which he did. But racing with Speed Queen and MDJ, obviously in the Haas and the Aston Martin, it gave me a little bit of benefit down the long straight, which I just used to my advantage and managed to save my ERS. So yeah, it was good fun, hard, but we're good.
Well, all the same, it was a good race, and congratulations on your win. Now we'll talk to MDJ, third place finisher. And MDJ, I've got to ask you what happened, because you were dominant all day long, but 2 spots short.
Yeah, I mean, mistakes happen. Mistakes happened, and stuff like with the safety car, and then losing the positions. I think I already lost those positions, but with the first safety car, when people probably already went to the harder compound when they started on the mediums, so it would have been hard for me to get in first anyway. But with the second safety car, it was certain for me to get very hard to get to the front again. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm still very happy with P3 from what I had yesterday and last week. So yeah.
And is this performance today an indication of what we're going to see from you in the coming weeks, or was it just Azerbaijan?
I hope this is the performance for the rest of the season. If not, I'm getting put in a different car.
All right, well, fair enough. All the same, I know it's disappointing, but third place, still a good day for you.
Yeah.
Right, congratulations. And with that, that is all the time that we have. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to all the drivers that raced with us. And congratulations to our top 3. This has been the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. And until next time, have fun and goodbye.
See you later, guys. Take care of yourselves. Bye.